success of his life. So he's a longshoreman. I don't know if you know what longshoremen are, but some of the highest paid union workers in the world. They have the most amazing insurance in the world and the most amazing pension. And when they come to work and clock in, they have this beautiful lounge with a big sports TV and stereo and a bathroom and showers. They could live there for a week if they wanted to. Anyway, he's out of the 13 children, everyone is always calling him to borrow money, but what has happened is he had a stroke, and he's a really tall, he's like 6'8". Ooh. And on my massage table, he's hanging off. And I really do like him, but because I think he's had a little bit of dementia, for especially recent events, he makes appointments with me and then he forgets. Because he's got to come from Temecula, come to the 91 and then into Orange, because he's on his way to San Pedro. So Orange is sort of on his way to San Pedro from Temecula. But I get tired of setting the whole thing up for him and then he doesn't show up, so I try to avoid him. And when you talk to him, he talks ever. And he's such a sweet guy. It's hard to stop him. I gotta go.
That's when you set your timer and say, oh, my next client's here.
He's another example why a parent should never spoil their children. She spoiled like all the older ones. He was number 13, so he basically had to raise himself. So of course he's the only one who's a success. Okay. Oh, just a really quick thing. I had this 34-year-old woman. I want to start bringing up just some really quick case studies. I only met her once, but this is so interesting. She is 34. She wants to have a baby, her first one. She works for a nonprofit organization for immigrant needs in the community, so you could tell already she's a very giving, helper type person, probably a 2. She was healthy, but she had 45 days without menses, and she was found to have a septum in her uterus. So I asked her, and I'll show you what a picture of that looks like. I asked her, why do you want to get pregnant now? She said, well, I'm 34, it's time. I said, but something tells me you have a lot of conflict about that. And she said, well, I kind of do. And I said, well, what's the biggest conflict? She goes, pain. The pain of childbirth. I've heard so many stories from all my friends. It just scares me to death. I don't know if I can handle the pain of childbirth. And so when they did an ultrasound, she has a septum in her uterus, that's the center thing, that's growing down like a wall. Isn't that interesting? Talk about someone who's split, someone who's conflicted about being pregnant.
My ex-daughter-in-law has that. And do you know that it's hard to keep the embryo implanted, but do you know they can get pregnant on both sides at the same time?
Yeah, sure. I can see that. But if they go and cauterize this and cut it out and burn out the wall, they'll do it vaginally, so at least there'll be no scarring through the abdominal surface. But then you have scarring in the uterus. So it's going to be difficult if the baby tries to implant where the scars are. But also too, if she is a small lady and her husband is a big Viking kind of man, that baby could grow so big, or if she even has diabetes in her history and it becomes gestational diabetic, where the babies grow awfully big, she stands to rupture where the scar is occurred, because it's a weak spot in the uterus. But it just was fascinating, because first she told me I have a septic uterus, and I thought, well, did they put you on antibiotics? I never heard of a septic uterus. She said, well, it's kind of means like I have a wall or a division. And I said, oh, a septum or a septic uterus. So that's what that was.
So what are the chances of having full-term pregnancy?
Well, some people do. Some people do. But, the thing is, she's going to have the pain of childbirth, or she's going to have to go through the, what do they call that?
The
Epidural. And not feel any of it. And then they're going to have to pull that baby probably early, before it gets too big. And then when you study what happens to babies that are pulled from cesareans, has anyone seen the movie Multiples by National Geographic? Okay, so I don't know where they put the frickin' camera, but somehow they have a camera where you can see the babies floating around their amniotic fluid. And then you see the incision being made at the top of the uterus. So I guess the camera's down here, and you see this incision of light coming up at the top of the uterus. These babies are floating around like nothing's happening, minding their own business. And then in comes this gloved hand, grabs one of the babies and pulls it out. When that happened, I was just watching, I wasn't expecting to react or anything. When they yanked that baby out, I jumped up like this and said, oh! It was so violent. It was so violent.
What was it called? I wanted.
It's called Multiples.
Multiples.
But
Geographic.
even a cesarean section is not as benign as we think, because then what these babies, if you actually study them, and there have been psychologists and people who have tried to study these children afterwards, they find, number one, they have no patience. So they were yanked into life, so they have no idea of what it's like to wait. Okay? When you're being born vaginally, you have to push with your feet, you're being squeezed, then the uterus rises, then you're being squeezed again, and you're sitting there in limbo land trying to figure out how to get the hell out of there. And in Western medicine, if you're laying flat on your back, the baby actually has to go uphill, the head has to go up over the pubic bone, and then down and out. Well, that's going against gravity. That's why it's so much easier if a mother is standing, crouching at the bedside or whatever, the way they used to do in the olden days, they let the mother take the position of comfort. But gravity helped to pull the baby out. Well, the other spiritual thing that happens to the baby is the baby has to decide. This is the first decision a baby has to make. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And he takes his feet and pushes against his mom's body, pushes his way out. That's his first decision. And that's his first stressful act. So these kids are more patient. These kids have the ability to tolerate discomfort for a little bit because they know it'll end. And then they also know that they can push, and sometimes their own efforts will get them out of whatever hassle they're in. But when you're born cesarean, you're just yanked out of nowhere into life. And when you watch it as a nurse, it looks like a turkey that when you're stuffing a turkey. That can't stand it. And I really thought I was going to have a cesarean when I had Amy. But after going through 19 hours of labor, for some reason it was so strong in my head, the last thing I wanted to do now is to be cut. It just seemed like the wrong thing to happen at that moment. So I just had to get through it, and I was slipped it. But I guess laboring through childbirth also teaches you that. That prolonged discomfort, can you get through that for the outcome? So that's what we have to learn. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, so we did the reconnect. Okay, so I am going to show you something about the type of acupressure we do is called Jin Shin Do acupressure. Jin Shin Do means the way of the gentle spirit. So in Japanese, Do means the way. Aikido, Karate Do. Do means the way. So Jin Shin Do means the way of the gentle spirit. And what we do is we don't have to memorize the millions of points all over the body that exist. And there are way more points than the ones that we show on charts. Way more. Because there are also points we can't reach with our hands or a needle. We go deep into the body. But what we do is we learn a protocol that is a shortcut, and we utilize points that are intersections of places. Deva, can you see me when on the camera when I go there?
Not from where you're standing.
How about now?
No.
Okay, how about now?
Your head's
Your
cut
head's cut off, but
My head, okay. So what happens is you'll see there are points that intersect other meridians. So one point will be this one, another point is this one, and the groin. This point is right where we have the V of our rib cage. You know that V? On each side of the top of the V, there's points there. And there are points elsewhere, which are important points because they're intersections. And we will use that point to anchor energy. So either we're going to use the energy because it's a high energy vortex in that spot, we're going to put our hand on that, and then we're going to direct that energy towards another point that is blocked. So we are jumper cabling our energy from a powerful point to a weaker point. And we do it in a certain order. And it's not, we don't have to hit every single point on a meridian. We just have to hit some key points. And so in many ways, we're always holding 2 points. One hand is pulling energy. The other hand is giving direction where we want that energy to flow. Now, if we were using acupuncture needles, we would just drop needles all over the place, and then the energy would disperse. Some of it will go down the right spot, some of it might go elsewhere, because you got needles in all different places, in points that mean different things. So what I like about this is we're basically like emptying a toothpaste tube towards the end. We're just like squeezing the energy out, and we're getting it to where we want it to go. And if someone is so congested in the liver because they are incredibly angry, then we will be trying to decongest that liver and move the energy out to the end of the liver meridian where it connects to another piece. And we know what piece it connects to because on the control cycle, liver leads to the heart. So liver leads to the heart, heart leads to the stomach and spleen, spleen leads to the lung and large intestine, lung and large intestine lead to the kidney and the bladder, up to the liver and gallbladder, and then back to the heart. So that's what we're doing, is allowing the energy to uncongest itself and flow where it needs to go. And when someone does that, it's like clearing the cobwebs out of your mind, taking the brain fog and blowing it away. And now the person can say, oh, maybe I don't know what she was intending to do. Maybe I should ask her what her intention was. And instead of making an assumption that she was trying to offend me, trying to hurt me. So that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to get the energy to flow into the right places. So number one, the organ is going to be happy. It's going to receive the energy it needs to function. And then lo and behold, the brain is the secondary clearing or benefactor of what we have done, because now with the energy not being stuck there in anger, it now can get rid of anger and think from a neutral position about what to do about the predicament. Also too, when you have so much anger, you might be blocking the feelings of the heart. So when you're so angry at a person and it's your daughter, you may not realize that you have so much love for that daughter because the energy from the liver is blocking it to the heart. So then your empathy and your compassion starts to flow towards your daughter, and you realize, instead of arguing, I should hug her. I should hug her and start the conversation from scratch. Anyone have any questions about that? So let me show you what a protocol looks like. And I have laid them upon people's tummies just because I don't remember what to do. And still, they paid me and walked out happy or satisfied or neutral. Okay, here's a shoulder release. Okay, so it's really gonna help if, I wish John were here. Can you see what's on the,
On the screen? No. No. Yes, we can see the screen partly though. Tilt it up, the camera portion up. More? More? Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that.
okay,
I can get up and change it if you need me to. So, you want me to straighten it out?
that would be, well, it's kind of at an angle, isn't it?
Tell me, how does it look?
Yeah.
Better?
Can you bring it here?
Yes, I can.
And then I might have to lower it.
Okay. That's probably better. How does it just tilt forward?
Yeah. Now we're going to go back here.
There you go.
There you go. Good job. I swear next year I'm gonna buy a new projector. Okay. That makes it dark. Okay. Alright, so obviously you're gonna have to memorize 30 points. And I'll show you how easy it is to do that. But basically it tells you to sit on the right, start on the right. So you're gonna sit on the person's right side. You're gonna take your left hand, put it on number 19, which is right at the neck. The right hand is going to go to 23, which is right at the shoulder seam. If you had a sleeve sewn there and you had a seam between the arm and the shoulder, it would be right in the middle of the seam. So 23 and 19 will be held together on the right, and then the small R is the right side of their body. Sometimes you'll have to reach over to the left side. If you notice down, further down it says left hand, use your right 20, their right 22, your left hand goes to right 20, and then the right hand's going to cross the body, go to the left 24. Okay, now I have found that if I don't cross over there, it still works. In fact, you'll follow me doing some of these protocols and I'll skip a step or something, it still works. So these are protocols that have been written so long ago, I don't even know if they exist anymore, but luckily I have them all on camera. But so when you have the bracket, both hands have to be together on those 2 points. But then only the right hand will move to the 24 number, the 24 side, and the left hand will stay. And then the right will move to the 25, then the right will move to the middle ring and middle finger, then the right will move to the 16. And now you're going to hold the right hand at the 16 and move the left to 21, and then the left to 22, and the left to 20, and now hold the 20, and the right hand's going to move to 24. So you see that? It's relatively simple. I know it doesn't look that way. This is one of the ones that I never memorized because I don't like to have to memorize regional work, and this is a shoulder release. I have memorized all of the 14 meridian releases and several of the strange flows. And that's enough, believe me. The rest you can use the frickin' charts for. No one expects you to be having the memory of I don't know.
Elephant?
An elephant, thank you. I do want to show you,
And that one was sent in our handouts thing?
the handout that's coming to you today
Oh, okay, good. I was looking
is this one, the Shinshindo Basic Points. Okay, now,
that one was sent.
okay, let me send you a blank. I wonder if I could get this Nita,
See, we sent that one.
I did?
Yeah, but it was the previous one that I didn't have, that I don't have. The one
Okay, you
with
have the blank, right?
I have this one. Is
With
that what
no
you're asking me?
numbers, with numbers? Okay, so you have the one with numbers. Can you make a copy of that? Can you make a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay, and you don't have one
How
with
many
no
copies
numbers?
do you want me to make? I don't have the one with no numbers. This is what I have.
All right, oh, and it got split in half.
Yeah, because the
Did
text.
anyone bring their copy at all? Okay. So I'm trying to think,
Say if you take it back to the screen with that on the right and the numbers on the left, I can screenshot that screen and then we'll have the whole thing if you want.
well, but I want people to be able to write the numbers.
Okay.
Okay, so what we'll do is let me go over the numbers. Then that printer is a Bluetooth printer. There's simple instructions that I'm going to give to Nita where she can tell her phone to print to that printer. And then you can make 9 copies. Okay? Does that
Or
make
if
sense?
it doesn't work, I may be able to photocopy
Of
first
course.
even?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think actually I made 2 copies.
Okay, so this is how it goes. One starts here. Okay, so this is the place where I told you brings blood flow to the cerebral cortex. It's just we have 2 mounds here. Now some people, it feels like a flat forehead, but eventually you'll get used to the idea that somewhere above the middle eyebrow in the middle of the forehead is 1. Okay, and there's 1 on the left, 1 on the right. 2 is on the cheekbone. Okay. 3 is the K27, the kidney 27 point, that intersection between the collarbone and the sternum. Right there.
So that's K.
What do I do with myself? That's 3. Okay.
Yeah. The 3's written on the opposite side.
Yes, because I couldn't, I wanted the number to be the clearest I could make it, so I kind of chose where to write the number. But you know, there's a 3 on each side, okay? So the 3 goes there, so 1, 2, 3. And then directly below this one, just above the nipple, 4. And on the left side, this is an EFT point for shame. Feel it. You can feel a really sore spot on the left. You feel that? Higher, Christine. Towards your shoulder, up, right, somewhere around there. Push. You feel that sore spot? You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel it? Too hot. Okay. Feel it? This is an important point. Yes, very sore. We all have shame.
I'm feeling sore when
It's not
Yeah.
because I touch it really well.
Okay.
Careful, Faye.
All right, so exactly on the other side is the other 4. But this one is not as strong for clearing the heart as this one because the heart's on this side. That's why it's much more painful. Okay, but this is 4. So show me 1, 2, cheekbone, right in the middle of the cheekbone. Up here, away from your nose. I know what, look straight ahead with your eyeballs. It's right under the pupils if you're looking straight ahead on the cheekbone. Perfect. Yes. That's 3, 4. So 3.
3.
4.
Now 5, if you see, we have that upside down V that makes the rib cage right here. It's kind of like, not quite the point of it, but right around here. And again, this is one of the intersection points. So if you come anywhere close to it, you're going to have it. So if you have that V, it's going to be like right around.
Oh, you come out?
Yes,
where it curves
yes,
up.
you got it. Too close. Come apart, down a little. Yes, right there. It's not quite as bony as you would think it would be. Yes, too close. Right. A little too far.
Where the ribs drop off.
Yes, just where the ribs drop off. You can feel it. It's kind of a sensitive area. That is a major, major intersection point. You'll see all the protocols, a lot of them having this hand, one hand on this point while your other hand's traveling all over the body. Okay, important point. Okay, so that's 5. And you notice they're kind of in line. 3, 4, 5. They're kind of all straight down the line, straight down the line. 5. 6 is easy. Take the groin line and cut it in half, and it's the middle of the groin. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, the sore spot. 5, 6 at the groin. Okay. 7. On the inner knee, you feel this bony part here? We all have a bony part in the inner part of the knee. It's above. Anywhere above that you can feel a sore spot, that's 7. And 8 is below the bony part. So 7 and 8 are right there.
What does it mean when they're really sore?
Then you're really sore there. So now we know 8. We're almost done with the whole front side of the body. Okay. Show me 6. Show me 4.
This part.
Very good, very good. And show me 1. 7. Right, it comes after 6. So if you always know where 6 is, you'll know where 7 and 8 is. And 8 is under you. Okay, 9. If I made this heel a square like this, touching the bottom, and then the heel, like that's a square. Can you see that? 9 is right in the middle of the square.
Okay. So,
Here's part of the square, this other part of the square, this other part of the square. Ooh, bang. 9. Okay.
What if it doesn't feel sore there?
10, right in the middle of your instep. Right in the middle of your instep. Feel it. Very important point. This is the crossing point for both spleen and kidney.
And where's 10 again?
10 is on the inside. So
Right,
if you remember that 7 and 8 are in the inside of the leg, 9 will also be on the inside of the leg. I always get the mistake between 9 and 12. But because 7 and 8 are on the inside, 9 is on the inside, on this part of the heel. 9. And then 10 is the instep of your arch. right? And it's more on, if your feet are like mine, they're tan on one side and lighter on the bottom side, it's more on the border of that tan mark, kind of in the middle there. And you can get these points through clothing, everything but a down jacket, I find. I can feel the pulsation of the point. Okay, so 10. 11 is directly on the other side of 10. So 10 is here, 11 is here. It's gallbladder. So it's kind of, if you follow your fourth toe down to the middle, and in between your little toe and your fourth toe, 11 is there. It's on this side. Which means 12 is the other side of 9. 9 was on the heel, inner heel. 12 is the outer heel. Make it a square again, and it's the middle. And we're halfway through. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the groin, 7 above the knee, 8, 9 is the heel, 10 is the instep, go across the foot to the outer part, that's 11, and 12 is the heel, the outer heel. Now you know half of them. Oops. Oops, that's the wrong one.
I found a full shot of it, and we're copying it.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
So then when we are pressing all this acupressure points, are we stimulating the organ?
Yes, you're passing your Reiki through it. Your Reiki chakra is the center of your palm. It goes directly up your third finger into the patient. So you are shooting your Reiki like a laser into their point. And even if you're not near the point, as I said before, let's say this area is the area where the point is somewhere in the middle. If you put your finger near it, the Reiki will travel till it hits the portal and boom, it will go in.
And do we always use our right hand?
No, sometimes you're going to use your right hand and your left hand. So even though we've always said the left hand is the receiver and the right hand's the giver, when you reverse on the other side, you're going to be doing the opposite of what you did on the other side. But I think the body needs that. And if the body needs to switch, it will. So just trust the process. Yeah.
Because I'm lefty.
Yes.
That's why I'm always
Reaching with your left hand.
reaching with
It's
my left.
okay. It's okay.
It's still in the copier, so she's gonna.
What is more important is your intention. Okay, now, you know my 6'9" client? I'm reaching like this, trying to, okay. What I do now is I touch with the one point I can reach. I get as close to the other point as I can, and I picture this chart in my mind, and I send the Reiki to that point. It'll go every time. And in fact, I will feel the pulsation of it. It's no different from doing this remotely. You know, if there's no space and no time and no reality, then I'm only 10 centimeters away from the real point. It'll get there. If it'll do it over the phone lines on Zoom, it'll get there. I'm really in the room. Okay, so we started with 12, so now we have to find 13. 13 is this outer, feel that bone first. Some people, this bone is harder to feel than others. It's the outer lower part of your knee. So your knee is here. It's the lower part of the knee coming out to the outer part. There should be a bone here, and it's really bent. This bone. Well, 13 is just behind the bone.
On top of the bone or under your foot?
Or in between, mine's in between right now.
Yeah, do we touch the bone or is it the
No,
area right
right behind the
underneath it?
bone. Most acupuncture points are a valley or a crevice between bones,
Yeah, probably in
between ligaments, and between muscles. Your finger will fall into place. Very rarely will you be sitting on top of a bone. But I can already think of a couple places. So right behind, that's 13. Okay. Another really important point, especially for knee problems and even for migraine, because this, the side of the body is the gallbladder. And the gallbladder goes forward and back and forward and back and all over the head is the gallbladder. So we can affect the gallbladder to this point. You don't have to touch your head. So then 14 is another important point. If you, everyone stand up and just put your hands on your side of your thighs, where the tip of your third finger is 14. Try and push into it. And if not, go just a slightly lower. It's not quite midway.
Does that one kind of have like a divot?
Yeah,
Because I felt it
yeah,
like a place.
yes, a place where your
natural.
finger,
Okay, now.
yeah, a place where your finger is. This is another really important pain point and headache point. In fact, if you touch this point and that point of the large intestine in that crevice there, you can touch them both at the same time. Sometimes you can.
Like this?
You can make a headache go away pretty fast, yeah. So that's 14. So 12 was at the heel, 13 was at the knee, 14 was midway up the side of your thigh. 15 then is here, and that's the only time you're on the bone. But look, you're in a valley, a crevice of a bone. So if we picture our pelvis as being like Mickey Mouse ears, right? Kind of looks like Mickey Mouse ears. We're in the dimple. That spot right
Where the
there.
sacrum is?
Yeah, your hand will fall right into it. Yes. No, too close. It's out on here. See?
Yeah.
See how far my hands are apart? She was on some bladder points, but this is here.
You might be easier if we did some henna tattooing and numbered it. So when we're practicing
Yes.
our bodysuits with the
Yes,
numbers.
that's all I wanted to do is to be cremated with all these dots all over my body. Okay. I know, things come to mind. Okay, 16 is if you had a tip of your, the tip of your rib cage, but towards the middle a little bit, that's 16. So it's like feel for your rib cage, but go towards the middle of your back a little. It's right.
Is it past the floaters? In your back?
Yes, it's below the floaters. It's directly above 15, and you should be able to feel for whatever ribs you can feel for. Just go from the ribs you can feel, angle downward a little, and be right on the edge of the body You know how the body is three-dimensional and we're like a big pillow, a bolster? You're on this bottom edge of the bolster. Right there, that's 16. In fact, if you stand like this, your hands will be definitely on it. 16. And so look at this.
That's funny.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19 are all in a row. Okay, so 16, 17 you could think of as if your shoulder blade has a point, 17 is at the point. Okay, as close as you can get to that point of your shoulder blade. So 17. And this is where people who have gallbladder attacks, they start to feel the pain here and it goes up between their shoulder blades. I think here. Because here's your shoulder blade right here. Like right here. So it's even higher right there.
The shoulder on the middle finger.
Oh, no, I can't. Someone else will have to do that.
It's below, right below.
My housekeeper accidentally threw out my memory. Long story. I never told her. Yeah, it was like 20 years ago. I never said a word. She's like family. I had it in God's vitamins.
That's amazing.
I was hiding it, and we went on to Europe. When I came home, she said, I cleaned out everything that was outdated.
Okay, 18 is easier to reach over the shoulder. So I'm going to find it for you. If I were to take the shoulder blade and it has a ridge right here, the Chromium process. It has a ridge, it goes all the way across. It's just below that ridge, in line with the neck. So it's going to be, oh yeah. Yeah, anywhere here. That's beautiful.
This is it.
Yes, it's just a little further there. Yes, right here. A little further down, yes. Right. See, the shoulder ridges here.
18 is one of the points.
Here. Yes. Okay, that's 18, which makes 19 one of the most painful spots on the body, which is if you have your neck divided by your shoulder. It's not the front, it's the back. The tightest spot on anyone's neck you could ever feel. So it's right here.
It's like a rock.
Okay, so let's take it up from 14. That was the middle of your thigh. 15 was in the depression of the Mickey Mouse ears. 16 was right above but below your ribs. 17 was a little higher than that, near the tip of your shoulder blade. 18 is between the shoulder blades. And 19 is the painful part right at the base of your neck. Okay, let's go from the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From that knee, 5. Groin, 6. Above the knee, below the knee, 8. 9, the heel. 10, the instep. Go across to the other side, 11. 12, the heel. 13 at the knee. 14 in the middle of your thigh.
You were going fast.
I can't bend over fast. That's when I sat down, you'd moved.
15, the Mickey Mouse ears. 16, above the, below the ribs. 17, below the point of the shoulder blade. 18, below, if you take the shoulder blade, divide it into half, it's the middle of the shoulder blade. 19 is the neck part, okay? Well, that's towards the back, so 20 is going to come towards the front.
I thought 19 was a little bit more down over here.
I just said 20. No, it's right here, right?
You're really angry?
Yeah, we'll find it.
Is that right here, Tim?
Yep.
So if 19 is towards the back, 20 is towards the front. Right at the base of the neck, or towards the front. We have 20, 21, 22. So 20, right in the middle, 21. And 22
It's like the base.
is kind of behind the ear. There, you feel this depression between the muscles right here. I'm going to find it for you. Make your fingers fit. See how your fingers fit? Oh, yeah.
It's 22.
22. See your bone right here.
It's sore. 23.
That is, isn't it? What is 23?
Base of the skull.
You feel your fingers fall.
It's in the back though, the arm?
That's 21, 20, 21, 22. So 19 was the painful point, then 20, 21, 22. So 23 is behind. If you were having a shirt on and you have a seam here, it's the middle of the shoulder sleeve seam. The middle of the seam right here. It's actually not quite on the arm, more on the back. Okay, more on the back of the arm. It's right where the arm inserts into the shoulder blade. Very, very important point for depression. All depression, hopelessness.
Is there an accompanying sheet that says what the points, what organ or symptom it goes to?
Maybe. I can't remember if I did this from memory or what. But you just learn. When we work together one-on-one, I will be telling you what this is. Too far in. Too low. Yeah.
Really? I thought ours were like right here.
That might be a point.
Has the organs but not like depression?
That's a problem.
Probably find
Yeah, so, right.
Here's your cue. So you can't go.
Can't go to
That's 23. 24 is a triple warmer point. So if you were a built bodybuilder and your delta came here, it would be right behind it. It's more on the little finger side than it is on the thumb side. So it's on the little finger side. So put your little finger out, it's here. And it's not quite midway, it's closer to the elbow than to the shoulder.
Is this right?
It just feels right when you get there. More like that. Yeah, and it's close enough to go to, yes. Because remember, 23 was way back here. The 24 is not going to be that far to the front. Yes. A little more. Yes. Yes. See, you always know when you hit your point. Okay, 25 is the hardest one for me. It's at the elbow. Okay, let me see if I can find it. And I like feeling this while I'm watching TV. I don't know why. I think it's because it's hard to find, and so when my finger falls into it, I'm so happy. There's a dimple. When you bend your elbow, it's above the elbow point, and it's behind the upper arm bone, right at the elbow point. That's all I can tell you. So let me see. Here's the elbow. Here's the arm bone. It's here.
Oh, it's in the back.
Yes.
There's like a pit there.
Yes. See, you found it right away.
In the pit.
Yes. In the pit.
It looks like it's more inward in the picture.
So come up to your elbow. And then come up the arm and then into
Probably why she has a hard time finding it.
Little more. And
Because that doesn't look like that will go. It does on that side,
yes.
but not on this side.
So it's behind. See, feel the bone here.
Okay, so this is go straight up and it's right here.
Towards the back and behind. That's, to me, that's the hardest part. Okay. Well, it's really getting simple from this point on. That's 25. It's a large intestine point. 26 is if you put 3 fingers on your wrist, it's 3 finger breadths above the wrist. So there. So put it like this. It's there.
But on the other side, right?
No, on the top.
On the back side?
Yeah,
Oh,
on the
okay,
tan
okay.
side is 26.
Oh,
On the underside is 27.
okay, okay.
Okay, so 26, 27.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So 26 is right here?
No, 26 is on
Oh,
my
I
left
have
hand.
my
Yes.
arm
26 is on the back of the arm.
right here.
27 is just flip it in. So that makes 28 be one of the most important points. If you're coughing like a spell, you can't stop. It's, if you look at this elbow crease, it's on the little finger side. It's right in, you'll feel a finger groove for you. If you hold that spot, and sometimes I'll hold both, and I'm coughing like crazy in the middle of someone's presentation, I will try and find it in the hold. I can't find it. But anyway, that point. Can you feel it pretty easy? Okay, that's 28. Oops. 29 is even easier. And then 30 is the end. So,
Is this it?
it's kind of on the ridge, okay? Yes. Bend your arm a little. So you can, yeah. So So you can feel that through.
No, look for the line first.
How many of you vote?
I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it works.
Oh, that's what she usually does.
Send it, what a precinct.
Okay, so 29 is right in the middle of the bicep muscle. Right in the middle of the bicep muscle. 29. Which makes 30 right in the middle of the front seam of your sleeve. Right in the middle. That's all of them. That's good. Got to memorize? Okay, let's just do it one more time. 1,
Can you say what each are, and I will type a sheet up for the class?
type it, same as what?
Like what 1 goes to, what 2 goes to.
Oh, jeez. You know why? Because they're intersections of many things, so they do many things.
Okay.
I'm not even aware of half of what they do. They're magical points.
Okay.
That's why it works better than acupuncture for emotions, anyway. Okay. All right, so 1, we already know that that's the stress points to clear your mind. 2, these are stomach points. If you got a stomach ache, it does help. 3, clearing fear from the body. Okay. In real acupuncture language, it's the 27th point of the kidney meridian. It's the end of the kidney meridian. When we were tracing it yesterday, this is where we ended. This is 3, 4, the shame point on the left side for detoxing the heart. So I never leave this point alone when I know there's a heart block or someone doesn't love themselves or finding trouble opening up to other people. This point, mainly on the left, is a very important point. And it's also called the sore point in EFT. 4, 5 is at the end of the V. It's somewhere around here. 6 is in the middle of your groin. 7 is above the knee bone. 8 is below the knee bone. 9 is your heel. If you remember 9 and 12 are the heels, that sometimes helps you remember where everything else is. Also remember 6 is your groin. 7 is your mid-step. No, 10, 9. 10 is your mid-step. Go across your foot to 11. And then your other heel, outside heel, is 12. Come up to the bone of your knee, go behind it, towards the back of your body. That's 13. 14 is where your third finger stops on your thigh. Headache bone, a headache point. 15 is the Mickey Mouse ears, right in the center of the cavities. 16 is at the bottom of your rib cage. And 16, 17 is if you could get your shoulder blades to point downward, be at the point of your shoulder blades. That's 17. 18 is if you take the shoulder blades, divide it in half, it's in the middle of the shoulder blade, somewhere down here. That's 18. 19 is a sore point, but it's behind the neck, at the intersection of neck and shoulder. Come to the front, you have 20. 21's the middle. 22 is at the top, but towards the back a little bit in the groove between all those thick muscles of your neck. That's 22. So that will make 23, the back seam, middle of the back seam of your sleeve. 24 is somewhere in the middle coming down on the little finger side. 25, that hard spot to find. Find the elbow go towards the middle of your body from the elbow point. 25, 26, 3 finger breaths above the wrist. You can just eyeball them, you're going to get there. 27's on the other side. 28, come to the little finger side of the crease of your elbow. 29 is the middle of your bicep. 30 is the middle of the sleeve C. And that's it.
I have such a hard time finding 30.
30?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, the last point right
You got it? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's it.
there. Yay, that was fun. Can we see the picture before that? It grouped the numbers so I could take a pic of it?
The picture before the numbers. Okay. Blank. Let me see if I can look like this.
It's the one that paired the numbers.
On the left. The points you want us to go on the right side and then the left side.
Oh, I thought you said the blank. You want the blank or not the blank?
The one Janet's referring to, because we don't have it.
This one. Okay, you want a picture of this?
I'll show you which one she's talking about. This one.
Oh, that. Oh, you don't need that. Is that the shoulder one?
Those are the points that you want us to do.
No.
No?
That was just an example of a protocol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to get all the protocols,
Okay.
but this is just the beginning.
Well, that's exciting.
Yes.
Wow.
It's simpler than you think, right? Could you imagine trying to memorize that acupuncture chart? That's impossible. Okay, let's take a break.
Yeah, that up here looks really juicy. What do you do here?
Charlie buys my groceries.
Oh, oh, nice.
Well, he doesn't buy all my groceries. He buys my produce because my husband does not know how to pick food.
So is Jonathan.
So he goes to Vietnamese store, Korean store, and Japanese store and find the food I want.
Oh, wow.
Rambutans, lychee nuts,
Yeah.
Asian pears,
Yeah.
Fuji apples that come straight from the tree,
Oh, wow.
and the best pomegranates in the world.
Very nice.
See, I got a charge.